Meteorologist Joe Furey with the 25th episode of Storms of Furey. Yeah, we love to talk about, the big storms of the past. This time of year, of course, the snowstorms are the ones that we tend to head towards. As we head towards 2026, we're going to be heading toward some new ideas on, storms in space. We're going to explore what happens above us and how that affects down here at Earth. The storms of the sun, which, by the way, is 93 million miles away, have been just tremendous during the course of 2025. And so much so, the effects of these big solar storms on the communications and airlines and so forth. There's been so much that's happened and so many millions of dollars that have cost things like airlines. It's been pretty interesting. So we're going to get to that. We get into 2026. But today we're going to be talking about, one of the biggest blizzards ever to hit the tri-state area, 1947, which may be one that you haven't heard about, and maybe one that should be talked about more and is not talked about that much, but was one that rivals some of the biggest ones that we have seen here in the Northeast in the last century. This one is, the blizzard of 1947. And that one is one, our producer Juliana, she was there. She was playing in the snow when that's the 2010 one coming. We're going to talk about 2009, 2010. We'll show you some pictures of her playing and having fun. But this one, similar to the Great Blizzard of 1888, the blizzard of 1947 was an unexpected visitor. It wreaked havoc on the post-holiday calm that had settled over New York City and Connecticut. On, the 25th, 26th of December, the Weather Bureau predicted some clouds and some cold winds, but there was no mention of snow. How about that? Okay, remember back then, we had a very hard time figuring out what was going to happen, especially when it came to big storms. So, December 26, 1947, snowflakes begin their descent unexpectedly in and around New York and Connecticut. And in the next 24 hours, New York City had 26.4 inches of snow. So, something that was a total surprise. 3-inch per hour snowfall rates. And, this was the biggest storm since the blizzard of 1888. Maybe that had a more powerful punch. That claimed 400 lives, destroyed communication systems all across the Northeast. It was probably a storm in terms of its magnitude, one of the biggest and most powerful ever hit the New York City region. Fed by a big moisture flow coming up from the Gulf Stream, the cold coming down from the north, and, wind speeds and below zero temperatures are what made the blizzard of 1888 so deadly. The blizzard of 47 was the mesoscale storm. Instead of affecting a vast area evenly, it descended on one spot with a concentrated force, and one of those big spots was around New York City. Transportation systems devastated, cars stuck, buses stranded. The number of people killed in the 1947 storm was 77. If it had been colder, it would have been speculated that a lot more would have died. But 1947, the idea that a storm came in with over 2 feet of snow and it was not expected is pretty impressive. The storm with Central Park at that 26.4-inch amount, the Category 3 as far as a major blizzard goes. The time frame, it formed on December 25th off the Carolina coast, and it came up, and it left its mark, and certainly left its mark across Connecticut as well, as we ended up with tremendous amounts of snow and problems across the area as well. Plowing snow like that is problematic. Keep in mind, if you remember, New York City and in Connecticut, in the cities around Connecticut, putting those plows on the sanitation trucks. That was always something that was done rather than just having plain old plow trucks. And Sometimes that worked, sometimes that didn't, especially when there was big snow. Those trucks just weren't able to handle it. So it was on December 27th, 1947, 100,000 city employees in New York were told to report for work. It was a storm that went all the way from D.C. on through New England. 30 inches of snow fell in Long Branch, New Jersey. That's pretty impressive. 24 people died there. Yes, power outages, people complaining about the fact they lost power, didn't have heat. The figures of marooned vehicles, 1,100 plus cars stranded in Manhattan. The Bronx had 1,800. The whole airport flight system was knocked down and didn't go for a couple of days. So the blizzard of 1947, and when you think about, again, our ability to figure out the weather, a storm came along with 26.4 inches of snow in and around New York City, and here in Connecticut, we got blasted with same amounts in spots and didn't know the storm was coming. We didn't know the hurricane of 1938 was coming. So think about it back then. These big, huge weather events, and yes, there was no warning for them. Even in 2012, there was almost no warning for Sandy, especially for New York City. As all the way up till the time almost Sandy arrived, the thought was it was going to go out to sea. At least that's what they were thinking down there. We know that wasn't the case either. So you would think that we would be a little bit better with some of these big storms, but we still have trouble. Very hard to figure out what's going to happen when it comes to these big systems that take shape and, well, sometimes surprise us. But we certainly do a little bit better job these days. But keep in mind this just last storm that happened here in Connecticut. 4 or 5 inches of snow in northwest Connecticut, some ice in the middle, and then rain, southern, eastern areas. Complicated to try and figure out, and you've seen it. Top of the hill in your town, all ice. Bottom of the hill, no ice at all. So these micro-scale weather events are challenging, and certainly when the big storms occur, at least we know they're coming these days, thanks to satellites and our more sophisticated computer systems. But 1947, yes, a storm that was huge and was a total surprise. All right, 2009 and 2010, back-to-back, 2 big blizzards around Christmas. Do you remember that? We'll talk about that coming up. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. All right, let's talk about, back-to-back years, 2009, 2010, for blizzards in December near Christmas. Sometimes we tend to not remember some of the big December storms. We always talk about the January and February and March storms, but there's been some big ones in December. And, well, we had 2 years in a row, 2009, 2010, where the storms, formed, and they ended up really packing a punch. And we're talking about 2009 with, a storm that formed and one of these coastal systems and came up the East Coast and, left its mark in many spots. Roanoke, Virginia had 2 feet of snow, right on up through New York City, 26.3 inches of snow. Now, this is very, very interesting when you look at this, because this was a classic example of how coastal areas hit the jackpot for the snow. And look at northwest Connecticut, northern Connecticut, Litchfield County, and Berkshire County with nothing at all. Yes, I remember this situation where we had the forecast for some people were saying this storm was going to be a dud, that there wasn't going to be anything. And others said that, you know what, maybe this is going to come up and really pound parts of the state. And it ended up being in southeastern Connecticut. There were some reports of 23 inches of snow around Norwich, the 395 corridor buried. You can see as you go out through into eastern Massachusetts, the 495 corridor places up in the 2-foot range. And so to have a setup like this, you obviously have to have some sort of Arctic high that's up to the north. And so that Arctic high was nosing down, and there was a belief, at the start of this at least, that it was going to be, a storm that would get pushed out to sea and wouldn't make it up and in. But it did, and for one of the rare times, the coast, southeastern Connecticut, yes, hit the jackpot with the 1.5, 2 feet of snow, while there was an inch in the far northwest corner at most. There were some places up there around Mount Riga, Mount Washington. By the way, that's Mount Washington, Massachusetts, in southern Berkshire County, where there was virtually no snow at all. So the storm to the south, coming on up, 2-inch per hour snowfall rates, significant disruptions on the 95 corridor from D.C. to Philly to New York. It was a real big problem. So when you look at how everything came together here with this, it was something that had a significant impact on the holiday season. And in terms of the accumulated snow working its way on up through into northern New England, that didn't happen because of the big high to the north. So this storm, it was a fast mover. It closed many roads, major highways shut down, cars are buried. Washington, D.C., many parts of D.C. had 2 feet of snow. This was back at a time when a lot of these big storms were coming off the coast, and they were being pushed out by a very strong negative North Atlantic oscillation. And what's interesting about this storm was that just prior to this happening, as we got into the winter season, a big article came out that stated Washington, D.C. doesn't get snow anymore. We're just, we just don't, it just doesn't happen anymore. And as soon as that article came out, and I believe it might have been the Washington Post, this storm happened. The idea that we were, working our way out of the mid-90s with some really big snow, and then all of a sudden things calmed down a little bit, and then we started ramping up again as we got into 2009, 10, think about 2011 and 12 and 13. Yeah, some really major, super mega storms back then. And back then we had extreme solar storms going on. So there's got to be some correlation. Here we are right now, extreme solar storms. We've got some really big cold. We've got a weather pattern set up that has a really big time winter look to it, as opposed to last year at this time when we were on the beach. The kind of weather we expect in wintertime here in southern New England is in play. Got an Arctic front coming in. Snow squalls, coldest weather of the season's on the way as we head into Friday. So as far as the storm, on December 19th to the 20th of 2009, the varied snowfall accumulation across the state with one of the most rare events ever, 20 to 26 inches of snow in southern Connecticut and northwestern Connecticut. Some places had less than an inch. You got to think about that for a minute. When you look at the size of Connecticut and the mileage, to have something like that is pretty impressive. Northeast winds were gusting 50 to 60 miles per hour, and that was the case even in eastern Connecticut. I remember my brother-in-law was like, what in the world just happened? Because, even going up into the Hartford area, the snowfall amounts were so much less. So this was a blizzard of significant magnitude in southeast Connecticut. For those living in southeast Connecticut, they will jump right on this one and say, you know what? I'll never forget December, right before Christmas, 2009, the big North American blizzard, labeled a crippling blizzard. And yes, the maximum snowfall amounts up in over 2 feet in parts of eastern Connecticut, and 7 fatalities from this storm. But it was, New London County's, own big blizzard, while northern Connecticut really had nothing at all. And it just goes to show you that, in December, we can end up with big storms like this. And sometimes they just take shape, and there's something that, doesn't doesn't surprise us, but certainly it is surprising when coastal areas get more than inland. Crippled travel, flight cancellations all up and down the East Coast, and this was a high-end northeast snowfall situation in terms of the coastal regions. So 2009, the big blizzard, southeast Connecticut got hit the hardest out through eastern Massachusetts, and 1 year later, around the same time, there was another big blizzard that happened. Where did that hit the hardest? We'll talk about that coming up. All right, thanks for coming back for segment 3 of Storms of Furey, and we're going to talk about another blizzard that happened 1 year later, December 2010. This is a storm that originated off the west coast of the United States, moved its way across the country, and hit the East Coast and turned into a mega monster nor'easter. And, this one, look at this, December 27th, 2010. Yes, see the snow blowing? Yeah, another one of these nice, light, fluffy snows that was not hard to get out of the way. But it's peak intensity, 961 millibars, 28.40 inches of mercury. That's what's found normally in a Category 3 hurricane. This system, situated near eastern New Mexico on Christmas Day, and we had 2 areas of low pressure interacted. Yeah, the northern and southern branches of the jet got together and resulted in a storm that's pulled the Gulf moisture in, pulled moisture in off the Atlantic, and history was made. The thing about this storm, too, it had thunder and lightning in it. Certainly a storm that was, significantly impacting the mega areas of the Northeast as you move your way across from Pittsburgh to Philly, Newark, New York City, Hartford, Providence, Boston, anywhere between 12 and 32 inches of snow fell. This storm had thunder snow with it. You can see the movement of the snow there looks okay. We had, significant coastal flooding going with the storm as well. This storm was another one that was extremely difficult to predict due to disagreements with models. So when you look at the one from 2009 and consider the fact there was 2 feet of snow in southeastern Connecticut, not even 2 inches in northwest Connecticut, it's a challenge, an extreme challenge. Look at the flooding going on down along our shoreline. This one was one that wasn't until just 48 hours in advance of this that meteorologists came around to forecasting a major blizzard and some big coastal flooding as well. The skepticism, even up to 24 hours before the storm, was there in terms of its potential impact. Juliana, did we see you? Did we see you in the snow? No. You're not there? What? There she is, our producer, Juliana, in 2010. Yes, she was not around in 1947. Look at that. You look so cute with your little shovel and whatnot. Do you remember the kind of snow it was? Was it a dry snow? Do you remember that? No? Well, it certainly looks like it was a lot of fun, and I see a toboggan in the background there. So this storm, as far as its impact, was again another one of these East Coast bombs that affected the major cities up and down the East Coast, crippling. Everything was ground to a halt. The storm, what's interesting about this one is that it moved its way all the way on over to Europe. It was called Windstorm Benjamin in Europe and caused some significant problems there. The maximum amount of snow with this storm was 36 inches in western New Jersey, $60 million worth of damage, blizzard, a nor'easter, a storm that caused some big flooding issues, and it had thunder and lightning with it as well. It had very much on the satellite a look of the blizzard of 1978. Looked just like it, looked like a hurricane, had an eye to it. Moved. It kept on going. If it didn't keep on going, it could have been one that would rival the February 9th, 2013 storm or the blizzard of 1888 that brought 4 feet of snow to places like Middletown, Connecticut. the initialization of computer models, getting the data in order to figure out what is going to happen with these systems is critical. And back in 2010, we were still on the edge of not getting the best information. Certainly, even right up till today, right up to our latest winter precipitation event where Southern Connecticut was wet, Northwest Connecticut was white, and in between there was ice. It's astonishing how micro scale the weather can be, how we have to forecast for individual towns, how we have to take all the computer model information in from all over the world. And that's one thing that, back 40 years ago, we didn't have that, and we had to rely on, what we were looking at. And a lot of times what we were looking at wasn't giving us the full picture. So when you consider, storms like, the blizzard of 1888, blizzard of 1947, the hurricane of 1938, all these systems that were significant, if not catastrophic systems that nobody knew was coming, that gives you an idea of how much more we need to learn about the atmosphere and its potentials. And, in terms of, where we're sitting here in Connecticut, winds 60 miles per hour. We had a gas station roof collapse in North Haven. Widespread tree damage and power outages throughout Connecticut due to this storm. The Metro North New Haven line was stopped due to, switching failures and trees down on the line. And so, you're talking about storms that, form when you get the big cold to come down from the north. And so that is what we have for a weather pattern right now. The look to everything for the winter of 25-26 is much more in line with the looks of going back to the winters of 2010, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, think about the big ones that happened back then, especially the February 9th of 2013 storm that dumped 40 inches of snow in Hamden, Connecticut. We're back to that kind of setup. We're back to the potential for the Gulf of Mexico to southeast coast to up the eastern seaboard types of mega storms. There's been four bombogenesis storms over the course of the last month. Off the East Coast and on up to the Canadian Maritimes. They've been getting plastered up there in Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. So those bombogenesis storms, they didn't get us here, but sooner or later they will. And the winter of 25-26 has the chance to show some storms like these ones we had back in December of 2009 and 10 and other ones going way back. So if you're a snow lover and a cold lover, I think you're going to like the winter ahead. And we've got a whole lot more ahead for you in Storms of Fury. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're feeling well. Bye.